What's up, Drum Club fans? My friend Joey here on the camera. We're here at the beautiful Ford Center today in Oklahoma City, and I guess Joey wants to have me explain a little bit about my kit before the other guys come in and start making a bunch of noise. This is a Sonor S Classics kit. I got it at the end of 2008 for the CMT tour, so I guess I've had it now for about 2.5 years. Really kind of funky, cool finish. It took some time to grow on me, but I really like it. It looks good in the lights. All birch shells, 12, 16, 18, 24. 24-inch kick drum is usually my favorite. I've been using a 22 in the studio a lot with Jason Aldean and Thompson Square. It's nice and tight and punchy, and this has a little bit more, it's got a little bit more air moving. And those of you that saw my black and red 26, that has a true rock and roll spirit to it. But most people love the 24. It's just an all-around good-sized drum. For drum heads, I'm using Remo. I've been with Remo since 1995. I use smooth Emperors. And what I like about the Emperors, and the acoustics are a little funny in here today, it's a little dry, but there's a lot of mids to lows. They really growl. You can get the same thing kind of with a smooth amp, but I'm a fan of the coated amps. A lot of guys in Nashville are using the coated amps. On the bottom, I use smooth ambassadors, not clear ambassadors. And make sure you guys are changing your bottom heads on your toms at least every 6 months, because guys are like, they don't get hit, but they're actually, that bottom head is vibrating a lot and it does get worn out. So treat yourself to changing your bottom heads every 6 months, at least once a year. These tom heads get changed every other week or so, and I usually put the date right up on top there to remind me. And then for the kick drum, I use a Power Stroke 3 tuned above a wrinkle, and of course I have to have a flam slam pad because there's nothing worse than going through a kick drum head in front of all these people. Of course, on my pedals I use a Danmar, the wood beater, a lot of attack, and sometimes for sessions I have the option of using the DW, the plastic, or the felt. Like if I'm doing a ballad with brushes, I might use the felt side to come off the head. This is the Phil Rudd signature snare drum, and it's fantastic. It's like a chrome over brass, kind of a Black Beauty style copy. And for the top, instead of the die-cast hoops, I'm not a huge fan of die-cast because they really gnaw your sticks, and they really don't help your body. Your body absorbs a lot of the shock. I use these S hoops, and you get a really nice sound, and you get a nice cross stick, and you can get them from Big Band distribution if you order. If you can order online. What else is happening here? I've got these nice blow-it fans. A lot of supermodels use these in their photo shoots to blow the model's hairs. And I want to, next year I'm going to put one here and get my air blowing in stereo. Of course, for sticks, I'm using, these are my ProMark 5Bs. And of course, if I'm playing like a jazz gig or something a little bit lighter, I might go to a 5A. Of course, I tried 2Bs, but they make me feel like a caveman, so I just go with the perfect size stick for me, which is a 5B, and I just go through a lot of them. I use the stick wrap. I started using it for the summer season, sweaty fairs and state fairs and outdoor gigs, and now I kind of almost use them all the time. I don't usually use them on sessions, but for almost every live gig, I use the stick wrap. You definitely want to try that. And then for cymbals, I've been with Sabian since 2004. And I'm always experimenting with different lines of the cymbals. These are 15-inch rock hats. This is a fun little invention. It's a 12-inch China, 12-inch mini China, and a 12-inch splash, and they're inverted on top of each other. So it's a really staccato, kind of a biting sound, and you can change the sound by tightening down, depending on how you tighten this thing. Yeah. This is a 19-inch saturation crash. And then they just sent me this. I wanted to experiment with these APXs. This is a 20. It's more of a, dare I say, like a pasty type sound as far as a line in the Sabian cymbals. This is the Paragon China, developed by Neil Peart. And to me, the all-around perfect ride cymbal. This is a 20-inch Evolution Ride, and it has a great bell. Great body, and you could get shoulder crashes and you can wash on it. Really of that. I endorse a lot of different lines of percussion, your Rhythm Tech, Grover, Factory Metal Percussion, Sonar cowbells. I was going through a lot of Sonar cowbells because they design them for Latin players or classical players, and I was just inverting the heck out of the lip. It would look like a smile. So I was like, well, I got to get something a little bit more masculine, so I ended up getting this Ridge Rider cowbell, and it's been holding up pretty good. For stick holders, I usually use quick stick holders, and to match the kit, I actually got some of these from Danmar. And they've got some funky finishes. They got like leopard skin, zebra skin, lion skin. They've got fuzzy dice, you know, really kind of a cool like Southern California vibe to that kind of stuff. Sonar hardware, and then I've got a little mix of pedals here. I've actually started working with a new company called the Remote Speedy Hat that I'm going to be talking about a lot. It's a new product, but in the meantime, I wanted to add a second hi-hat, and I picked this up on eBay for 50 bucks from a friend, and so I'm kind of going with this thing over here. It kind of took a while to get used to using the second hat because you're used to hearing that color in your left ear, and then when it comes over from your right side, it took some work to get going with, because now you have to coordinate these three pedals here. But I'm going to be using the Remote Speedy Hat that I love a lot. For click generation, I'm using an Alesis SR16, and I click this for a venue this size. You know, if the mix changes, if everybody's mood changes, everybody's energy levels, we can at least lean on this. And if somebody starts a song, like Jason starts a song, or one of the guitar players starts a song by themselves, I don't have to whap away on the hi-hat to keep us all honest. They can have the shaker in their ear. And I submix it so my side has more interesting stuff. Cowbell, congas, tambourines, shakers. It's more fun to play with, like Jose the percussionist, you know, is in the room with me, and everybody else just gets a pure shaker sound. And then I use the Tamra Rhythm Watch as a backup. I've probably gone through 50 of these things over the years. Not to say they don't last, but they're so easy to use, and it's portable and super user friendly. And then I use a foot pedal for starting and stopping. And what else? As you can see, there's some drum plates. It's a reflective material, and it makes the drums sound louder. And I don't necessarily need that. But I am using a product called the Roadblocks, and the Roadblocks have Velcro on the bottom, and it allows you to every night lock in. You can mark the rug, your drum rug, where the drum plate goes, then set the drum plate in there. The piece of hardware will fit in there, and then for hard hitters like me, the cymbals are always moving. It kind of helps lock them into place. I think that's everything. We've talked about cymbals, heads, drums. I've been a long-time Sonar endorser. I use all their lines of drums, but for me, the S Classic has been just the best. To me, it sounds the best. There's some other products that I have that I use a little bit too. I have Ultimate Ears, and I also use Drum Ears, a new product out of Florida, spelled DRMEARZ, Drum Ears. They're single driver in-ears, and they sound fantastic, and they're very affordable, and it's a quality product. And of course, I recommend you always have two of everything, because if you're in the middle of the show and you break a snare drum head or a bottom head, you have to have another drum ready to go. And if a pedal breaks, boom, you have another pedal ready to go. And then you have to have a fan, of course. Everybody needs one fan that they can take everywhere. I also use Woodshed Percussion Concepts bass drum art. A good friend of mine, Dominic Tancredi, I think I might have been one of his first clients, but he has this, he can put on any artwork you want, your band's logo, onto the bass drum head, and I don't think it's a sticker. I think he's got this high-tech process, and he uses any head you want, so you can special order any kind of head. You can say, I want it on a pinstripe, I want it on a Emperor, or I want it on a Power Stroke, and he'll include that in the price. Very affordable, quality work. I think I have 6 or 7 heads from him, and then I have heads from him on the coast at the SIRs and the center staging. So if we do a television show, Jason always gets a little shout out, and my other companies get a little shout out. But he's fantastic, and you could go to woodshedpercussion.com and check him out. And I also have to thank my friends at Audio Technica microphones. We use Audio Technica microphones almost exclusively out here, and my Crash Studios in Nashville, which is under construction, is an exclusive endorser of Audio Technica microphones. And I hope that's helpful. And for more information, you can go to richredmond.com. It's REDMOND, or crashcourseforsuccess.com. Thanks for checking it out.